Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Narrative Archive. And well, I decided why not to do this one, since it's going to be original, so not many people have done it, but this one is what if female Deku was actually Cat from Gravity Rush or Gravity Days, whatever when you pronounce it. Now, I'll lay a little bit of groundwork. I'm combining the worlds of Gravity Rush and My Hero. So Hawksville will exist, but it's going to be a floating city, similar to Edo. Similar to the floating cities of Edo and Gravity Rush 2. However, the couple things I'm not bringing in is, well, simple. The Navi. I'm not bringing those guys in. I'm just bringing Cat and Raven and the cities. And the city. Now, Hawksville is going to be located above the Atlantic. It's in the distance between Hawaii and Japan. That is where Hexville or Hawksville is. Now, let's start the story, shall we? Oh yeah, and Cat is not going to have a quirk because, well, gravity manipulation. Her gravity manipulation, as states, is a power produced by Dusty, her cat, and her companion. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, let's start from the beginning of Gravity Rush 1. However, I'm not going to have her start in Hawksville, because Hawksville is still undiscovered at this point. So, let's restart with, well, the final fight in Gravity Rush 2. However, Cat wins the fight and doesn't disintegrate herself. All her friends are up and she knows her friends are alive, and she's filled with even more determination to, well, beat them. Actually, no, wait, scratch that. I was saying during the Angel fight. She beats the angels, and rescues them. She then passes out while over the ledge and falls down below. Raven is concerned about this, but since she couldn't move, she can't really chase her. And now we cut over the cat, who's currently just falling. She's basically blacked out at this point. Because in the world of My Hero, they don't know Hawksville exists. Because no one is able to get high enough to get to it. That's how I'm going to play it. No one can get high enough to get to Hawksville. Including Hawks. And including the teleport quirk users. They can't get high enough to get to it. So, while Cat's falling, we cut over to, well, Hawks, who's currently in patrol in the air, and he sees just something fall right past him. He's concerned and goes down and follows the person he saw falling. Now keep in mind, Dusty is with her. But because when she's in the air or using her gravity powers, Dusty's kind of inside of her. And yes, that does sound weird. But that's how it actually is. Now, we cut over to, well, Hawks while he's following Cat. Down, back to Earth. As a crash landing on top of UA happens, and all the heroes are freaked out about this. So they all go up to the roof to see what's going on. And they see just this girl spread out across the floor and not injured at all. And Hawks lands, and Nezu asks what's going on. Hawk simply explains that, I don't know, this girl was falling and fell right past me. She came from, looks like space, and I don't know if she's alive or not. Recovery Girl simply goes up to Cat to check her pulse, and says that she's alive, and it looks like she's not injured at all. them believing that she is possibly a hero from another country. But then they look at her and see that she's around 17-ish. Saying that she's old enough to be a second year in a hero school. Maybe she got separated from her class and a villain kind of transported her here. So that's the story they have right now because they don't know what's going on with her. Nezu and Aizawa simply asks why not just wait until she wakes up and we can ask her the questions. Now while they're doing this, Aizawa sees a cat. And Aizawa, being Aizawa, instantly runs over to pet it. But all the other teachers notice this and see this cat that looks like space. It's in the physical form of a cat, but it looks like it has space inside of it. Like it has the void, basically. I don't know how to explain it really, but that's the best I can come up with. And all the other teachers says, including Nezu, simply says the cat's probably her quirk. That can be her like a companion type quirk. And they simply just escort cat. They simply just chalk up saying, for right now, that's her quirk. Let's take her to recover girl's office and let her recover while we wait till she wakes up. Now we fast forward about 3 days or so, and we cut over to Raven, who tells the Angel twins that she's going down below to try to find Cat. Literally everyone part of Cat's crew advised against it, saying that we have to accept it, but she might already be dead. We don't know what's down there. Because the reason why the two are separated is because of the gravity storm. But the Na'vi don't come from the gravity storm. But after the fight with Angel, the gravity storm subsided. But they don't know this. Only Raven and Cat knows the gravity storm no longer is there. As Raven simply states that the gravity storm is no longer there, so we can go adventure downward. But since it's too high and most of our technology is used to stay up, I'll go down there to try to search for Cat. As Raven just simply jumps off, with her Raven right behind her. Now we cut over back to Cat, who wakes up in this strange place in her eyes. And Recover Girl sees this and asks if she's okay, and who is she? She doesn't understand Japanese, because I'm making so the Hawksville only speak French, which is technically the case. So she starts speaking French, saying that, I can't understand you, I'm sorry. And Nezu comes in learning, and Recover Girl will call in Nezu just in case she has a different language. And Recover Girl, realizing that she doesn't understand what she said, and she's speaking a different language, is relieved that she called Nezu. Nezu walks in and hears her saying, sorry, I don't understand you. And Nezu asks, I might understand you, in French. She seems happy. Well, Cat's always happy, so I'll just say that she was a little worried since she's in a new place. Nezu asks, who are you? And she simply states, I'm the Gravity Queen. But you can call me Cat. And this one question defined everything. Defined their views about Cat. Nezu simply asks, what's your quirk? Cat responds saying, I don't know what a quirk is. All I remember, and what I remember now, is that I woke up in Hawksville and I had these powers. I then later learned that I'm royalty and my powers were provided thanks to my best friend. As Dusty just randomly appears next to her, saying that this is Dusty, he's my best friend, and ever since I woke up in Hawksville, he's been with me, and that's how I believe how I get my powers from. Nessie simply states that, okay, give us 1 second, we're going to run some tests on you to make sure you're healthy, and make sure you're okay. As she simply states no need, Dusty also heals me, and allows me to control my gravity manipulation. Nessie is confused by it, saying, what? Gravity manipulation? So, are you by chance related to one of our students named Ochako Uraraka? She simply states that no, but who is she? She has a quirk or power called zero gravity. Anything she touches has no gravity whatsoever. As Kat simply states, so like my lunar style. As Nezu simply asks, what's lunar style? Since my power is gravity manipulation, I can change my gravity flow. Thanks to my adventures, I was able to find artifacts to change my gravity flow. I have lunar style, basically turns my gravity manipulation into, well, the gravity density of the moon. Jupiter style is the exact opposite. I can change my gravity density to the gravity of Jupiter. As she simply gets up and switches to lunar and jumps, saying that she's technically floating, like she's on the moon, and while in the air, she switches to Jupiter style and causes a little bit of cracks forming in the room. And while doing this, Dusty disappeared, and right when she landed and swept back to normal form, Dusty appeared in her lap, saying that, yeah, Dusty is my power source, you can say. But I'm excited to meet new people. I was nervous at first since I didn't know where I was, but you guys seem nice. As now we cut over to Raven, who's currently following, doesn't know where she landed because Hawksville roams around the entirety of Earth. So she lands near Japan. She lands in Japan, but not at UA. She lands in Japan and hears a scream. Raven, picking up a little bit of Kat's personality, has her selfishness and heroic nature. So she rushes over and sees, well, a little girl running away from a guy in a bird mask. You guys should know who this is. Pretty obvious. It's Overhaul. The little girl runs behind Raven, and Shizukai asks, can I have my daughter back? She ran away while she was getting punishment for disobeying her father. Raven just tilts her head and simply states, I don't know what you're talking about. Overhaul knows this and realizes that she's speaking French. And Overhaul just thinking, great, a French hero. I can't escape this. Since in this AU, the heroes in France are well known for their brutality and their, well, the will to go into battle no matter what. Since their heroic division is called the Napoleonic Forces. Overhaul takes off his glove, and Raven can feel the girl behind her shaking, as she simply activates her gravity form, using stasis to pick up Eri and fly off. Overhaul sees this and is like, maybe we have a new target. Maybe All For One has a new target. I'll tell him about this girl later. In a little bit. But for now, I need to hunt her down. Now we cut over to, well, Night Eye. Night Eye and Mirio, who are going to that area, and they see Overhaul run after something. And they see this girl, this glowing blue fly away from Overhaul, with someone flying next to her. Mirio instantly thinks like, oh good, she's helping the little girl, as Night Eye simply thinks, this is not what my predictions are describing. As Mirio simply asks Night Eye if we can take out Overhaul already, and Night Eye agrees, and Night Eye simply throws his stamps at Overhaul to get his attention, and Mirio permeates behind him and knocks him out. Raven is seeing this and decides to land next to him, saying that maybe they have powers similar to mine. Night Eye knows French, so I'm gonna make it so because he's a gentleman. I mean, Sir Night Eye is his hero name after all. She lands and simply says bonjour, as Night Eye says bonjour. Bonjour, madame, as they have a full-on conversation in French. During this entire time, Eerie walks over to... Well, during this time, Raven dropped Eerie from her stasis, and she walks over to Mirio. And Mirio starts hugging her, saying that it's okay, the bad man's gone, and all that stuff. Because Night Eye had some court-canceling handcuffs on him, just in case they needed to arrest someone before the police got there. Because Night Eye, he's always prepared. As well, the time goes on, and Night Eye receives a call about the girl they found is awake, and that her powers are interesting, and she's glowing red when she uses it. Night Eye, thinking that the girl in front of him is related to the girl back at UA, asks in French, do you know someone with a similar power to yours? As she simply states, yes, my lover, Cat. And Night Eye simply states, I'll be right there real quick, and I have someone that is, well, her lover. They have similar powers, but I don't think they're related. As we fast forward a couple hours before that, we cut over to, well, Nezu making a deal with Cat, saying that I'll teach you how to become a hero in our country. I'll let you live here and let you become a hero in our country as long as you tell us about the place you're from. Cat agrees, saying that I would like that, and I would love to get know more about this place, since Cat is adventurous. And now that she goes to the changing room and gets changed into this sort of outfit. Actually, do I have a school? Yeah, I'll say she gets changed into the outfit, her schoolgirl outfit, and simply asks Nezu, is this okay? Nezu's just simply, just imagine the two uniforms in UA colors. But there's their style from the Gravity Rush. Nezu simply nods, saying, yes, that is okay. Let's go introduce you to Class 2A, being the canon, the guys from 1A. All the stuff from My Hero don't happen in their first year. It happens in their second year. I'm doing this so I can incorporate... Actually, no, I would say the Class 1A is still in 1A, but she's, on paper, 2A. But she would mostly be in Class 1A, since she doesn't know anything about Hero Society. And this takes place right after the entrance exam, so technically, this is the first day of school. As Dusty's falling behind her, because as actually, I'll just say she picked up Dusty and carrying Dusty over to Class 1A. Nezu knocks and Aizawa opens the door and tells Aizawa about the new student joining. As Aizawa sees this girl with blonde hair, red eyes, and dark tannish skin with a cat. And Aizawa simply sparkles, saying, "She's in my class, so you're putting her in my class." And she says, "Yes." And Aizawa, she has a choker on that allows her to translate her language over to Japanese and vice versa. So we can understand her and you can understand her. So she can understand you and you can understand her. He simply nods and tells everyone to quiet down. I'm introducing a new student who I've just informed got transferred over from France. That's the story they're going with. She was supposed to be a little late, but she came early. So let me introduce you to Kat. As Kat walks in saying, "Hello, my name is Kat. And Kat says that I'll cover up my powers as a quirk." As she simply states, my quirk is called Gravity Companion. As she shows Dusty, my pet Dusty here gives me powers of gravity manipulation. I can control gravity. I have three different styles. My normal style basically allows me to control my own gravity and allows me to do simple gravity manipulation. I have my lunar style, basically allows me to do my gravity manipulation into the moon, into the gravity field of the moon. And Jupiter style basically allows me to gravity manipulate gravity field to manipulate my own gravity and my gravity stasis field. Manipulate my own gravity and weight to the gravity of Jupiter. Everyone's surprised by this, and one person raises his hand, being Ida, saying that it's inappropriate to have a pet on school grounds. As Kat simply tells Ida that, "I'm sorry, but it's due to my quirk. Dusty can't leave my side if he does, I get hurt. Because that's how my quirk works. Gravity Companion. Dusty is just part of my quirk. He doesn't eat. He does sleep, though." I'll say in this what if that Dusty doesn't have to eat if he doesn't want to. He can if he wants to, but he doesn't choose to, normally. Now we go over to Raven with Night Eye and Mirio, and they get to UA, into Nezu's office, and the same thing with the same deal she explained to Kat, she explained to Raven, and Raven agrees. And Aizawa gets a call saying that we have the girl's lover, and don't mention her, and she'll start school the next. And the class says, "Okay, we have apparently another student from France coming in." As they see a girl with black hair, with red highlighted tips, and blue eyes, and a coat on her UA uniform. Kat eyes light up, saying, "Raven!" as she goes over and jumps out of her seat, using lunar style to basically teleport to Raven and hugs her. Everyone's confused by it, saying, "Do you have two quirks?" No. That was part of my lunar style. Lunar style allows me to basically teleport. And Raven introduces herself as Raven. Her quirk is also Gravity Companion. I'll say, yeah. Kaminari raises his hand, saying, "So are you and Kat siblings?" Raven says, "No," and she looks at Kat, saying, "Is it okay?" Basically mouthing, "Is it okay to tell them?" Kat nods, saying that, "I'm actually not related at all, but we have similar quirks. It's possible to have similar quirks, And well, Kat is my girlfriend. Nezu told us that since we're practically irreceptible because positive negative energy, since I'm gravity and she is also gravity, it made sense that we would pull towards each other. Carmenari simply says that, damn it, I thought I had a chance with you. It's like, I'm sorry, but you look like someone I wouldn't get along with. As Kat simply frowns, saying, that's not nice, Raven. And Kaminari, was it? You look like a nice guy, but I'm in a relationship, sorry. As well, they do the quirk assessment test. Bakugo goes first, and everyone gets their canon scores, except for Kat and Raven. Those two go, and Raven uses her Raven, just uses her gravity manipulation, stasis field, and throws the ball from her stasis. Kat does the same and gets around 2,000 meters each, tied for first. They're confused by this, and Bakugo's pissed, saying that you're damn extra, how dare you're damn freaks, how dare you get better than me. And before Aizawa can do anything, Raven's in front of Bakugo's face and kicks him. And simply deactivates her power, deactivates her form, her gravity shift, and simply goes back to doing what she was doing. Aizawa simply says, good job, that was a good kick. As she simply says that, well, we were hero trainees in France, and we're technically part of 2A. We would technically be bar 2A, but since we know nothing about the Japanese hero laws, we were put into 1A to relearn. So we have a much more combat experience than you guys. Kat has way more than I do, but I am in similar powers to her, but her gravity forms makes fighting her difficult. As she says that, and everyone's confused by this, saying like, okay, guess we don't want to fight her. Now, another thing happens that makes Ida a little sad is during the race. When they say go, Kat activates Jupiter style and uses her gravity slide with her boost and gets 0.005 seconds. Ida is confused by this, but then rethinks about that and sees Kat using her Jupiter style and says she probably shifted her gravity to her legs, and she simply moved her leg and used some gravity manipulation in the front behind her so she can get an extra boost, and thanks to the weight, she can't stop. As Kat hits a tree. Raven just simply face palms as everyone is panicking. She jumps up saying, I'm okay, and that was awesome. And now, let's just cut to the end of the day. Bakugo has getting feelings for Kat, but he knows that he has no chance with her. As we cut over to Nezu, who knows about Hawksville now and got in contact with Sid and the Angels, and asks more about Kat and Raven, simply saying that they're heroes in Hawksville. Kat's called the Gravity Queen, and Raven's called the Gravity Raven. Or the Gravity Princess. I don't know what people call her. As Nezu asks what did they do, they tell Nezu about the events of Gravity Rush 1 and Gravity Rush 2, including the Raven after story. As Nezu simply states that these girls are way more talented than my folks than the people 1A. But since they know nothing, we have to let them be here to learn about the Hero Society. But it's good to know that Kat and Raven have not killed anyone yet. as everything simply goes on like canon. Then the USJ happens, and I'm going to try to best explain as best as possible, but let's just say that Cat and Raven use their finishers. I should say this, like, while fighting, Raven gets knocked out, and Cat gets pissed, and cue the ending of Cat's story in, well, Gravity Rush 2. She merges with Raven's Raven and Dusty to create her Cat and Raven finisher. As that happens, the Nomus that were there get destroyed, and all the villains get knocked out. Shigaraki is knocked out, and Kurogiri is barely able to teleport Shigaraki and not himself, before the metal piece of his outfit just falls apart. Kurogiri disintegrating and dying, basically. So Kurogiri's dead now. Shigaraki gets back. We cut back to Shigaraki and All For One. All For One watching the fight through Kurogiri's eyes, and simply maniacally laughs and wakes up Shigaraki, saying that we must capture that cat or Raven girl so I can take their quirk. Because Nezu has Cat and Raven's files on paper, not on paper, but he has their files on him at all times. Simply saying that if All For One found out that they don't have quirks, he's definitely going to try to kill them both. As well, I'm going to end it here, and this is more of a one-shot deal, and I hope you guys like this, and if you want me to make this an actual series, I'll redo it to put more detail in, because I spent a long time trying to make this, and I just want to get it out for you all. But if you like it, tell me down below, and I'll make it into an actual series and redo it to just include Cat at the beginning and Raven later on. Kind of like Gravity Rush 2. Well, anyways, this is Left 4 Dead. Peace out, and I'm putting a bookmark in this chapter, and keep on surviving, my survivors.